Anthony Hartwig here with another Boardman girls soccer player profile, another senior on tap. It's Ava Freeborough. Ava, thank you so much for coming on, joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about the senior season. What's it like to kind of go through this year knowing it's the last ride, and what kind of emotions are you going through?
I feel like I have mixed emotions. I have a lot of adrenaline knowing that this is my last year, and then at the same time, it is sad knowing I played for my whole life, and it's the chapter's coming to an end.
We just talked to one of your teammates, Sarah Barrow, who's also a senior, and she was more like, it hasn't hit yet. I'm not letting it hit me. I'm not thinking about the future. Where do you stand? Do you think has it hit you yet that you're a senior, or are you trying to save off that feeling until the end of the season?
I mean, I'm trying as hard as I can to save off that feeling, but at the same time, it has hit me. Like, I know that there are teams that we have already played. Like, we just played Poland last night, and that's the last time I will ever play them in soccer. So just that hit me a little bit. That one last night hit me.
When you think about the things that you wanted to do when you came into your senior year, maybe some goals that you had, things you wanted to accomplish from the soccer field before you were done, what were some things that you said, like, before I graduate, I want to be this in soccer?
Well, I always said that when it came to my senior year, I did want to be a captain. However, we did discontinue that, which I'm perfectly fine with that. We just switch captains every game, and I take that as a good thing. I mean, everyone deserves to be a leader. We don't need to be wearing a captain's band to be a leader. So that was one goal I had. And then another goal I had doesn't necessarily have to take place on the field. I think having a positive impression on the younger classmen, like even off the field, like in school, is one goal that I did have as well.
Hey, if everyone's a captain, that means at least once you get to be captain, right? So you still gonna
Yeah.
accomplish that goal. Get to
Yeah.
check mark that. Let's talk about the other one though. Being the great impression and great role model for the younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that for you when you came up? Who taught you how to do that so you can do it now?
Well, the two seniors when I was a freshman was Ashley Harding and then Nadia Rawana, and they both took me under their wing. I still talk to both of them to this day. Nadia would give me rides every day. I would actually hang out with Ashley in the summer. They both completely took me under their wing and really showed me what it was like to be a Boardman Spartan and looked over me.
Now, who are the underclassmen that you think you're taking under your wing now? Who are the players that you're going to watch and have a little bit of pride in their career as they continue on in Boardman?
I am really close with Ava Acevedo and Gina Mariani, so I will always be looking for them. And I also the juniors now, like they have came up with me a little bit, but I still I want good things to happen for them with upcoming years, and even some of the freshmen that have came along, like just building good relationships with them. Like it's good. I want what's best for them, and I hope the best for them in the future.
So you have a ton of varsity experience in every sport you play. You're I think a 3-year starter in basketball, going to be a 4-year starter in softball coming up in the spring. What's it like to kind of have so much experience and bring that into one more year where you're saying like there's nothing on the varsity level that you haven't seen before?
Well, I was just, lucky enough, like my freshman year and my sophomore years, to get a lot of experience playing varsity. So just knowing that I do have that experience, it's just helping the teammates who don't have as much experience out. Like that's the biggest thing for me.
What do you take from those experiences, especially as a freshman and a sophomore, that you'd say, hey, I went through this too. You're going to go through this. What kind of advice do you give to the underclassmen?
I just say, play every game like it's your last and always have confidence in yourself. Like just knowing from experience that the games that I doubted myself, I did not play as well in. So just always having that confidence in yourself.
When did you start soccer? When did you start fall in love with the sport of soccer and know that it was something that you wanted to put your time into?
I always played soccer. So I think I started when I was like 4 years old. And then my dad and Jim Hunt were the coaches at the time. And they believed in me so much. They always were very enthusiastic. We actually were a three-peat. We won a championship 3 years in a row when we played youth soccer. And then me and my dad, we started like reffing when I was like in 8th grade. So I always had that connection to soccer.
So what's it like now with you and your dad? One last run in the senior soccer. He's probably at every game.
Yeah.
What's it like to kind of be able to share this last run with him?
It's emotional, but it like means everything to me. Like knowing that he never refs our games because like he doesn't want to. He just never refs any of my games. But during like summer tournaments. Like he refed me for like one last time, and like it was emotional for both of us. But knowing that he is there at every game and that he does support me, it's big for me.
So let's also talk about you inside the school. Like a lot of athletes we've already interviewed, you have a 4.0 GPA. How much pride do you take in that schoolwork and the fact that you're able to carry that GPA into your senior year?
I know that a lot of people say this before, but it is student athlete. So being able to keep my grades up is very big for me. And knowing that college, I do plan on going to college. So I just keeping the grades up and having a good resume are just important.
I think sometimes people from the outside see so many 4.0 GPAs, they forget how hard it is. I mean, can you talk about the work that you've put in your schoolwork to maintain that perfect GPA?
I remember, I think my sophomore and junior year, I cried like every night. Like the classes I took were hard. I'm currently trying to get first in class, and I know Sarah is too. So me and Sarah have both been through it, and we talk like she plays basketball with me too at soccer and basketball. We both talk about all of our schoolwork, and we have both had countless of times where we have cried because of work that we were given.
Don't want to bring up too much drama, but what class made you like break down the most? Which is the one that you really had to buckle down to get that A in?
Um, I took an AP class my sophomore year, and it was my first AP class, and I had it with Mrs. Sturgis, and I love Mrs. Sturgis. Like she helped me out so much, but I did not understand like her course, and I had a very hard time with that, and I struggled till the very end, but we got the A, so that's all that matters.
Obviously, a lot of hard work on both ends, your athleticism and your schoolwork. How much do you take the work ethic from your schoolwork into your work ethic from your sports?
Well, something that like speaks out to me is that when I do get called in the middle to be a captain for soccer, the one thing that the refs always say is this is an extension of the classroom, and they just reiterate like the rules of how like you want to be, how the sportsmanship and the way you want to be treated on the field is the same as the classroom. So that just speaks out to me.
Talk about kind of the juggling of time that you have because you are a 4.0 student, you play three sports, you're in a couple extracurricular activities, and you still have to have somewhat of a social life as a kid, right?
Uh-huh.
So, how do you juggle it all? What do you do to kind of try to manage all your time?
Well, I do think that I'm always busy, but I think that if I wasn't busy, I drive myself insane. So I'm very happy where I'm at, and it's just I am a procrastinator. My parents get on me for it all the time, but I have a great support system, so that helps a lot.
You got to have some time organizational skills. Do you think you're good at that, or do you think you've had to develop some stuff in place to make sure you're organized?
I definitely had to develop a lot. Like I said, I procrastinate so bad. My parents always have to tell me like when I need to get stuff done, and knowing that I'm going to be going off to college, like I really need to develop more skills of when to do my work.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to nudge you in
No.
college and be like, "Hey, you got to get this done."
Yeah.
When you think about, we talked about the class that was hardest for you. What class was your favorite? Which one do you think? I don't want to say was easy, but which one do you think you really enjoyed?
I always liked chemistry. Like I felt like I had a good relationship with my teacher, and I just like understood it. And it was like a harder class, but like I'm more like math and science driven, so I just felt that that was the most interesting for me, and I did well in the class.
And we've talked about this team and how there isn't one captain and everyone can be a captain on this team. What's the personality of the team like? What do you think makes it easy to have that mentality and that culture in the locker room and on the field?
I just think, having a good relationship with like everyone on the team, like we are all like in the same boat when it comes to being out there on the field, and just having respect like for the underclassmen, like just knowing that they have a voice too. Like I will never be like an upperclassman that thinks that my underclassmen don't have a say, and I treat everyone as equals. So just we have a very good team dynamic.
A lot of seniors come into their senior year with all this pressure of now I have to be a leader. I have to kind of be that senior captain. Not so much on this team because, like we said, you have a lot of leaders on the on the field, and everyone can be a captain. So, what's that like for you to take that leadership pressure off? And like, yes, I can be a leader, and we know that you can, but I don't have to every single night.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing, like, me and Sarah have talked about it all the time because she's like the person that I look to the most. I feel like me and her like kind of bounce off of each other. Like if she's not having like her day, like she'll look to me. If I'm not having my day, I look to her. So just knowing that I have, just especially like another senior that has been through like the same things as me, like it taking that pressure off and knowing that I have her there, just it makes things a lot easier for me.
All right, Ava, we've talked about your dad. I don't want to leave the rest of your family out. Talk about your family a little bit and what makes them special and unique to you.
Okay, my mom is like my biggest supporter. There are times where I come home and me and my dad will just be screaming at each other. Like he loves the game of soccer. That's what he grew up playing. So when I come home and I did not have a good game, we are yelling at each other. But my mom, she's definitely my biggest supporter. She's there at every game. She's like in the middle. Like she tries to like cool the water. So just having her by my side, and then just any of my family members that come to any of the games, just seeing them up in the stands fills me with extra adrenaline. So I just love to see them there.
So your mom's got to play a little bit referee herself
Yeah.
every now and then. Ava, one of the things I also want to ask you about is your future after high school. What are some of your goals? Some of the things you want to see yourself doing after you graduate?
Well, I do want to go to college. I plan on going into the medical field. I want to specialize in anesthesia. Not sure how that's going to go out. Lots of schooling, but I also have been looking at places to maybe continue my soccer career. Still undecided, but have been looking out there.
What drove you to wanting to specialize in anesthesia? What kind of drove you down that path?
I've always just, like I said, I've been math and science driven, and that's something that interests me. And my mom also has a friend that is an anesthesiologist, and her life just seems like her work life. I just picture myself doing it. So I don't know. I just
Now you said you're undecided where you want to go, so we'll get a little bit broad with that. But do you want to travel or do you want to kind of stay close to home, if you could pick?
I do want to have the experience of being like on campus. So I do want to travel a little bit, but my mom has made it very clear that I will stay close to home and not too far away where I can get back to my house within a day, which that is fine. Like that's fine for us, but she's made it very clear that she doesn't want me going far away.
There's a lot of places you could go within a day's drive,
True.
though. You
Yeah, she,
know.
she wants me to keep it like under like 2-3 hours.
Oh, okay. Well,
Fine.
that narrows it down.
No,
I
yeah,
was about to
that's
say
fine for
within a
me. I
day.
think I could do it without her. So.
One of the things I want to ask, because you do want that experience of being on campus and being away from home. What makes you the most nervous about being away from home, and what makes you the most excited? It's a dual question.
Okay. I think I would be most excited about just like experiencing life just in general, like on my own foot. Like I would just have that responsibility, and I want to take the weight of that responsibility. But I think that also is what I'm most nervous about because I will, after a long day of school and potentially if I am playing a sport, coming home and not having like my mom, my support system there to talk to, that scares me.
All right, Ava. How we end these player profiles is we give the player the chance to take the limelight off themselves for a little bit and shine on their support system. I want you to give out your thank yous and your shout outs to all the people in your life that are in your corner that you wouldn't be here without.
Okay, well, I would like to thank both of my parents. They're always there for me. I would like to thank my seniors. And they have been there almost every single one of them. All 4 years have played with me in high school. So just really want to say thank you to them. All my underclassmen, everyone that I play with, thanks to them. Thanks to the administration. Thanks to all my coaches for giving me opportunities. And I would like to thank you for having me on here.
All right, Ava. We want to thank you because you gave us the time. We appreciate it so much. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the senior season, and we'll talk to you in real soon.
All right. Thank you.